Welcome to Hero Villains. What do you think about Despero versus Blue Marvel, where the mightiest warriors clash to prove their power? On one side is the psychic tyrant from the planet Kalanor, wielder of the legendary Third Eye, who single-handedly defeated the entire Justice League and Martian Manhunter in devastating psychological battles, Despero. On the other side is the antimatter hero, a genius scientist who possesses the power of the very energy that gave birth to the universe, who fought King Hyperion on equal footing and defeated Sentry, Blue Marvel. Despero brings brutal domination, the physical strength of a champion gladiator combined with psychic power capable of enslaving entire planets. Blue Marvel brings the power of antimatter, a stable and pure energy source so immense that it can absorb and counter virtually any form of attack. When the psychic tyrant faces the embodiment of antimatter, who will be the last one standing? Previously, Despero was an alien from the planet Kalanor. He was a superior mutant within his own species, possessing terrifying psychic abilities so formidable that he is often measured against the greatest telepaths. Despero can manipulate wills, unleash overwhelming mental assaults, and exert tremendous psychological pressure on his opponents. However, that was still not the full extent of his potential. After passing through the Flame of Pytar, a mystical nuclear energy source believed to be the origin of the Kalanorian race, Despero underwent a complete transformation. This power not only amplified his psychic abilities, but also elevated his physical attributes to an entirely new level. His strength, durability, and hand-to-hand combat prowess reached a tier comparable to that of the mightiest Kryptonian warriors. He became a rare fusion of ruthless intellect and overwhelming physical power, transforming himself into one of the most dangerous threats ever to face Earth's heroes. Despero harbors a deep hatred for the Justice League. In his eyes, the heroes are not protectors of peace, but the very cause of the destruction of the absolute order he had established on his homeworld. The collapse of his supreme authority on Kalanor led Despero to view every action of the Justice League as an unforgivable insult. His desire for revenge does not stem from a momentary outburst, but from a long-standing obsession, fueled by wounded pride and the belief that only absolute domination can bring true order. When confronting heroes, Despero demonstrates astonishing superiority. He easily defeated Plastic Man, brought down Red Tornado, an elemental entity possessing tremendous power, and neutralized their teammates with little to no significant resistance. For Despero, combat is not simply about winning, but also a cold exchange governed by the philosophy of quid pro quo, give and take, an eye for an eye. One of the most frightening aspects of Despero is his ability to adapt after defeat. He does not accept making the same mistake twice. In the early post-crisis era, despite having been stopped by Zatanna's magic after overwhelming both the Justice Society and the Justice League, Despero drew lessons from that very defeat. He studied his opponents, adjusted his tactics, and prepared far more thoroughly for his subsequent returns. The facts demonstrate that Zatanna never truly had a real opportunity to reach him under conditions similar to those before. Should the circumstances change, the outcome of their confrontation could very well be different. After just the first few exchanges, Despero proved his ability to turn the tide with breathtaking speed. It is precisely the combination of overwhelming power, sharp tactical intellect, and an ever-evolving will that has made him an opponent any hero must approach with caution. For Despero, defeat is not the end, but merely preparation for a far more dangerous comeback. Before the moment Superman and Flash were taken out of the fight, Despero had not yet directly finished them off because he was still facing relentless waves of attacks from the entire hero force. In that chaotic situation, Despero had not yet been able to focus his full attention on those two individuals. Despite being surrounded from multiple sides, he continued to sweep the battlefield with terrifying power, overwhelming each opponent who appeared before him. Every counterattack from Despero demonstrated his superiority in both strength and situational control, gradually rendering the Justice League's coordinated efforts increasingly fragile. The turning point only came when Zatanna intervened to rescue Superman. In reality, Despero had been stopped in the very process of executing his attack. It was Zatanna's magic that neutralized the effect before it could be completed. Therefore, the precise conclusion is that Despero is fully capable of using his telekinetic ability to subdue members of the League, but that action was interrupted by the intervention of magic. What makes Despero particularly dangerous lies in his ability to continuously improve himself after each defeat. Any method that has ever been used against him will be studied, analyzed, and countered in the future. Following the post-crisis era, Despero even managed to recover memories related to the secret society, memories that Zatanna had erased through magic. This achievement demonstrates extraordinary willpower and mental strength far beyond the usual standard, as very few characters are capable of breaking magical bindings that have been applied directly to their own mind. Despero has also repeatedly overwhelmed Martian Manhunter in direct confrontation. Although Martian Manhunter ultimately claimed victory in one particular encounter, that result was largely dependent on an exceptionally rare set of circumstances, so unusual that it reads as a plot device that could only occur once. Martian Manhunter reduced Despero to such a broken state that he regressed into an embryonic form. That stands as one of the strangest and most extreme moments in the entire history of their rivalry. However, looking at the full picture, Despero's overall record against Martian Manhunter remains clearly dominant. A single victory is not enough to erase the history of dominance he has built across multiple encounters. What is even more noteworthy is that even after what appeared to be such a humiliating defeat, Despero returned stronger than before. He continued to demonstrate absolute supremacy, effortlessly defeating the very heroes who had once contributed to bringing him down. As mentioned, Despero's comeback following this defeat took place later in the New 52. It is covered in greater detail further below, so you will need to scroll down to witness that monster in action. Regardless, the post-crisis era carries a stronger record of MMH being defeated by Despero, and they had no chance whatsoever. Superman, Wonder Woman, Power Girl, Captain Marvel, Hawkman, Plastic Man, even Hourman, none of them stood a chance. Thanos, LMTT, is nothing compared to this man outside of the usual misleading hype, prep resources. Despero is a team-busting destroyer, HTT, and I will not bother entertaining any galaxy-scale misleading exaggerations of the unit-diverse variety. And Despero does not simply eliminate villains the way Doomsday does. He will first let you know the gap between yourself and him before delivering the fade. He will reveal himself on his own term. I sincerely hope you will subscribe to the channel. It means a great deal to us, and you are the most wonderful person. Thank you so very much. Now let's talk about Blue Marvel. Adam Brashear has long been recognized as one of the most powerful individuals in the Marvel Universe. Bearing the title of Blue Marvel, he stands out not only for his exceptional intellect, but also for his awe-inspiring physical strength, enough to place him alongside powerhouses such as Sentry, Hulk, and Thor. What sets Adam apart is that he was not a warrior born of mythology or innate mutation, but rather a genius scientist driven by a desire to change the world through the power of knowledge. Adam devoted the majority of his career to researching matter and antimatter in pursuit of a new clean energy source for humanity. However, a catastrophic accident would completely alter the course of his fate. During the operation of an experimental reactor, a violent explosion occurred that exposed Adam directly to a level of antimatter radiation carrying an extraordinarily dangerous degree of mutagenic properties. Rather than being destroyed, his body adapted to that energy source and transformed into a living antimatter reactor. This transformation granted Adam Brashear a wide array of superhuman abilities that far surpass the limits of ordinary human beings. He possesses immense physical strength, extraordinary speed and reflexes, the ability to fly, a greatly extended lifespan, and near inexhaustible stamina. Most notably, Adam is capable of absorbing, manipulating, and releasing energy with remarkable precision. These abilities make him a well-rounded warrior, combining a sharp scientific mind with the raw power needed to confront threats on a cosmic scale. Even feats that might seem straightforward for Adam are enough to illustrate the gap between him and the rest. He once effortlessly caught a pickup truck hurled directly at him without showing the slightest strain. For many superheroes, that alone would stand as proof of superior strength. But for Adam Brashear, it was little more than a warm-up before stepping into greater challenges. The true scale of his power was on full display when he faced an asteroid comparable in size to the state of Arkansas. An object of such magnitude carries enough kinetic energy to trigger a civilization-ending catastrophe on a global scale. Yet Adam stepped forward to stop that threat, demonstrating that his capabilities are not limited to personal combat, but extend to safeguarding all of civilization from large-scale disasters. Another notable feat worth mentioning is Adam lifting the Starship Enterprise and safely returning it to course. This achievement reflects not only raw strength, but also his extraordinarily refined control over energy. Even more remarkable, Adam Adam Brashear once survived taking the full destructive force of a hydrogen bomb head-on. Simply standing firm against that level of annihilating energy alone is enough to place him among the most durable entities Marvel has ever created. There are moments when Adam describes his own strength through metaphorical imagery, but when measured against his actual accomplishments, the idea of him being capable of lifting an entire mountain no longer seems far-fetched. When a person can hold back a massive asteroid, move colossal machinery, and endure the force of thermonuclear weaponry while continuing to fight, the boundaries of what defines human potential cease to apply. Despite possessing the power to reshape the world according to his will, Adam remains steadfast in the ideals of a scientist and a protector. He understands that great power always comes with great responsibility. It is precisely this combination of exceptional intellect, moral integrity, and capabilities beyond imagination that has made Blue Marvel one of the greatest yet most underrated heroes in Marvel history. Adam's survivability is virtually without limit. He can freely travel through outer space without any form of life support equipment, completely unaffected by the harsh vacuum of space or the extreme conditions beyond the atmosphere. This demonstrates that his antimatter enhanced body has reached a truly remarkable level of evolution. Adam once single-handedly confronted and defeated the entire fleet of a powerful alien race. This was no ordinary army, but a force capable of threatening the very survival of an entire planet. Despite facing an overwhelming disadvantage in numbers and firepower, Blue Marvel emerged victorious through a combination of absolute strength, precise energy control, and sharp tactical thinking. He also engaged in direct combat with Ant-Man, one of the most dangerous adversaries the Avengers have ever faced. Ant-Man possessed a level of power so formidable that even veteran members of the team approached him with caution. Yet Adam did not take a single step back. He repeatedly stood at the front line to stop this threat, proving the resolve of a hero willing to face the greatest dangers head-on. Adam's extraordinary endurance was further demonstrated when he survived the collapse of an entire skyscraper. Those massive slabs of concrete and steel capable of crushing any living creature were not enough to bring him down. For Blue Marvel, such forces amount to little more than a minor inconvenience. Another notable characteristic is his ability to connect with matter at the subatomic level. It is precisely this capacity that allows Adam to maintain a youthful appearance despite having passed his 40s. While time leaves its mark on virtually every human being, the body of Blue Marvel continues to operate with remarkable efficiency. However, what makes Adam Brashear truly extraordinary goes beyond strength alone. He is also a brilliant scientific genius. Adam personally designed and constructed an underwater research facility at the bottom of the ocean, a place dedicated to complex scientific work that lies beyond the reach of the vast majority of humanity. Even in the most intense and chaotic situations, Adam retains the composure of a seasoned strategist. When leading the Avengers against Ant-Man, he demonstrated leadership qualities reminiscent of Captain America himself. Adam not only inspired his teammates, but also personally engineered a scientific solution to neutralize the enemy. He constructed a system functioning like a particle accelerator, harnessing the combined power of all the superheroes present to neutralize Ant-Man. That moment stands as the clearest demonstration of the perfect fusion between scientific thinking and innate command ability. Even Ares, the god of war renowned for his skepticism and combative nature, accorded Adam absolute respect. Blue Marvel is truly a first-rate hero. He possesses the strength to simultaneously engage Iron Man, Ares, Wonder Man, and Miss Marvel in direct combat while maintaining a clear and decisive advantage. Very few characters in Marvel are capable of confronting multiple high-tier superheroes at the same time and still dominating in such a fashion. Even more staggering, Adam was capable of pushing Sentry to his very limits in a confrontation that was anything but restrained. With a single punch, Blue Marvel sent Sentry flying off the battlefield and hurled him all the way into Earth's orbit. That feat not only confirms the terrifying physical power of Adam Brashear, but also proves that he rightfully stands alongside the mightiest legends of the Marvel Universe. In a world teeming with gods, monsters, and cosmic entities, Blue Marvel continues to shine as a symbol of intellect, courage, and near limitless strength. And now let us move into a direct comparison and combat analysis. Both possess physical strength at an extraordinary level, capable of standing alongside the most powerful entities in the universe. Despero has defeated Superman, Blue Marvel has defeated Sentry. In a purely strength-based one-on-one bout, this would be an evenly matched showdown. However, Despero's strength stems from brutality and savage combat instinct, while Blue Marvel's strength is backed by his ability to control antimatter energy. Blue Marvel can augment his strikes with energy, making each attack not merely a physical force, but also a localized antimatter explosion. This represents a distinct technical advantage in combat. Despero's most fearsome power is his capacity for psychic assault through his third eye. He can infiltrate the mind, conjure illusions, and crush the willpower of his opponents. But would this prove effective against Blue Marvel? This is where Blue Marvel truly shines. Unlike most of Despero's other adversaries, Adam Brashear is not merely a warrior. He is a scientist with extraordinary mental discipline. He spent more than half a century living in solitude, confronting obscurity and injustice without ever breaking. His mind is not an easy target. Furthermore, as a physics genius, he possesses a deep understanding of the nature of energy and consciousness. He can recognize a psychic intrusion and resist it through the sheer force of his hardened will. But, more importantly, the very antimatter energy coursing through Blue Marvel's body may function as a natural shield against psychic attack. Psychic energy, when examined at its core, is still a form of energy. And Blue Marvel is a master of absorbing and manipulating energy. When Despero attempts to breach his mind, it is entirely plausible that the psychic energy would be absorbed and neutralized by the antimatter system within Adam's body, much in the same way he once absorbed the energy of King Hyperion. Despero typically employs illusions to erode the mental fortitude of his opponents, exploiting their deepest and most buried fears. But Blue Marvel has lived through a kind of pain that few could ever imagine. The betrayal of his country, silent sacrifice, the death of his wife and children, and decades of prolonged solitude. Ordinary fears no longer hold any power over someone who has faced the worst that life has to offer and still remains standing. When Despero attempts to conjure illusions built around Adam's losses, he will find that Adam learned to accept and move beyond them long ago. Despero is a seasoned warrior with the instincts of a killer. He fights like a wild beast, overwhelming his opponents through sheer force and brutality. But Blue Marvel is a genius scientist with the ability to analyze a battlefield at the quantum level. He will not simply engage head-on, he will study Despero, identify patterns in his attack style, and develop counter-strategies. He will recognize that the third eye is Despero's primary source of power and focus his efforts on neutralizing it. The battle will begin with a fierce exchange of physical force. Despero charges in with hammer-like blows, while Blue Marvel responds with strikes amplified by antimatter energy. Both will trade attacks carrying destructive force comparable to atomic bombs, sending shockwaves through the surrounding space. Despero will gradually come to realize that raw physical strength alone cannot overpower Blue Marvel, and he will shift to deploying his third eye. The moment Despero unleashes his psychic assault, Blue Marvel will sense the intrusion, but rather than descending into panic, he will channel his full willpower and antimatter energy to construct a mental shield. The battle will then shift to an entirely new front, the war within the mind. Despero will attempt to overwhelm through pure psychic force, while Blue Marvel employs a combination of iron will and energy absorption to neutralize each successive wave of attack. This will be an intensely cerebral contest, one where Blue Marvel, with the analytical mind of a scientist, will gradually decode the psychic energy frequency of Despero and devise a method to strike back. This is a grueling battle for both sides, but Blue Marvel will be the one to claim victory. He possesses the perfect fusion of strength, intellect, and mental discipline, qualities that together form an adversary the likes of which Despero has never encountered before. Despero is a terrifying engine of destruction. His physical and psychic power is unmatched in the vast majority of confrontations. But he has grown accustomed to overwhelming his opponents swiftly, using brutality and devastating psychic assaults to secure victory. When faced with an adversary who can withstand those attacks and even push back against them, Despero will begin to falter. Blue Marvel does not merely possess the strength to defeat Despero, he also has the patience and the intellect to wait for the right moment. He will absorb the initial onslaught, analyze his opponent, and identify the weakness. And that weakness is the third eye. Once Blue Marvel pinpoints the third eye as the source of Despero's psychic power, he will channel his entire antimatter energy into neutralizing it. A concentrated beam of antimatter energy directed with precision at the third eye will not only disrupt Despero's psychic abilities, but also trigger a painful feedback reaction, paralyzing his entire nervous system. With his psychic power neutralized, Despero is reduced to a warrior with extraordinary physical strength alone. Still dangerous, but no longer an unstoppable threat. Blue Marvel, armed with his antimatter power and absolute mastery over energy, will gradually seize the upper hand in the hand-to-hand confrontation. He will press Despero relentlessly with precise strikes combining physical force and antimatter energy until the Tyrant of Kallenor finally falls. Blue Marvel wins, and that concludes our analysis of the battle between the Psychic Tyrant and the Antimatter Hero. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below. Are you on the side of the Psychic Tyrant or the Antimatter Hero? If you enjoy high-level analyses of cosmic battles like this one, do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any upcoming confrontation. Thank you all for watching, and we will see each other again in the next battle.